With 16 or 17 games left in the season, I believe it is clear that DeMar DeRozan's impact shows that the Chicago Bulls should actually go ahead and sign him. I'm actually going to be jumping into two articles which actually show the facts that DeMar DeRozan absolutely should be back with the Chicago Bulls. I'm your host, Rico Greenhowe, and this is another episode of Bulls Digest. And before we jump into the content, guys, I want to let you know that 75.6% of you guys that actually watch the videos are not subscribers. Make sure that you go ahead and mash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with your latest news with the Chicago Bulls. And with that being said, guys, let's jump into the first topic of the day, which is DeRozan's impact on the Bulls' future. This was an article that actually appeared in Yahoo Sports, and it was talking about how DeRozan's recent play may impact his future with the Chicago Bulls. I went a step further, and I wanted to say not just impact his future with the Chicago Bulls, but how this impacts the Chicago Bulls' future as a whole as far as building the team out and continuing to build off its young core. So let's go ahead and jump into the article and what was actually said here. So it says the Chicago Bulls surprised fans and analysts both when the team's front office let the 2024 NBA trade deadline come and go without making an effort to move on from looming free agents who might leave the ball club this summer for nothing, including star veteran wing DeMar DeRozan. But since then, neither DeRozan nor the Bulls seem especially concerned about getting a deal done, hinting both parties may know something about the future for their relationship the rest of us do not know. DeRozan's recent play in particular could boost his stock as a free agent, or could make the Bulls look brilliant if they can get DeRozan re-signed on a quality contract. All right, guys, so a lot to unpack there. So first and foremost, I think that, yes, I would say that if the Chicago Bulls are able to get DeRozan back, they absolutely look brilliant, because this guy has absolutely been one of the best clutch players in the NBA. Right now, he scored 166.5 points in 35 games played in clutch moments. And look at this. In comparison to Steph Curry, he has 122.5 points a game, or per the 34 games. So, I mean, that just lets you know how valuable that DeRozan has been for the Chicago Bulls. And then it talks about him raising his stock for himself. And that's absolutely true as well. I think that with DeRozan's play, he has absolutely shown that he can still be an elite scorer. And he's really trending in the way that he might actually break into the top 25 if he continues to play at this level. And I'm saying top 25 as a scorer. So absolutely, I feel like his stock has risen, because there's a lot of teams that would like to secure DeMar DeRozan and his scoring ability. You know, the question is, I think, in my opinion, if DeMar DeRozan comes back to the Chicago Bulls, it would probably be the most favorable situation, because DeMar DeRozan is able to have the ball in his hands, and he's able to affect the game a lot like he's affected it all of his career, where he's played with the Raptors and now here with he's played with the Spurs and then now with the Chicago Bulls. And the way he's been able to not only score, but he's also been able to get our young talent involved and improving as well with him. Whether you look at what Kobe White has been able to do or DeSumo, I think that DeRozan's stock has absolutely risen. And because of that, that leads us to the next point here. And facts here would show that DeMar DeRozan, in my opinion, and I think to Chicago Nation, it has to be a must sign here. So this next article is going to be talking about DeMar DeRozan and what he was able to achieve here over the West Coast trip. And then also, too, he's in the running for the Clutch Player Award, which was actually won by De'Aaron Fox last season. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into this article as well. You can find this actually on MSN Sports as well. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So the next topic here is DeRozan must come back to the Chicago Bulls. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this article as to why he has to be there. So expectations were low for the 4-game road trip out west after the Chicago Bulls got demolished by the Milwaukee Bucks on their home floor. However, the team went on to rattle off 3 straight victories over the Kings, Jazz, Warriors before falling short to the Los Angeles Clippers. DeRozan was a significant part of closing out each of those victories, all of which came in the clutch situations, games with 5 points with under 5 minutes remaining. The veteran scored a combined 45 points in the fourth quarter over the Bulls' 3 wins, which included a 19-point effort against the Kings on a perfect 7 of 7 shooting. He also drilled a ridiculous and one to secure the win over the Golden State Warriors here. Next, DeMar DeRozan is now 4th in quarter points scored this season, while it's more likely than not the Bulls finished the regular season in an underwhelming 9th place. DeRozan has been a big part of ensuring the wheels don't fall off all the way. His scoring efficiency has only trended in the right direction as the year has gone on, which is pretty darn shocking when we consider he's currently played the 2nd most minutes in the NBA this season. And just how good was DeMar DeRozan? Well, he was player of the week. He averaged 29.8 points per game. He had 5.5 rebounds a game and 6.3 assists per game as he won the player of the week there during that time. So with that being said, guys, DeMar DeRozan during this time, if you watch the Pacers game, he actually passed Elgin Baylor, Dwayne Wade, and Adrian Dantley to be 32nd all-time in scoring at about 23,180 points. He's headed to 25th as a scorer. And, you know, the bottom line is that people really respect DeMar DeRozan and his work ethic. They really respect his leadership. And they really appreciate the footwork that he has as a scorer as well. And so that's talking about his teams and his players, you know, that he's played on. And that just seems to be across the league, guys. I mean, this guy has been huge to that. You know, the real issue for us is that if we keep Lavine, all right, and then we also don't medically retire Lonzo Ball, we only have about $37 million to go ahead and try to figure out something with DeRozan. Then we're also going to have to try to figure out something here with Drummond as well. And then we also have to figure out what we're going to do with Lonzo Ball in that situation too. And then we also have Patrick Williams as well. So we only have that $37 million to try to figure this thing out. And I think that when you look at DeRozan, I think that he's looking and trending towards probably playing into his 40s. I think that that's realistic. He's a guy that plays under the basket. He's a guy that he doesn't need to have a whole bunch of space to create shots, right? Kind of reminds you a lot of like what Kobe Bryant was able to do. And I just think that we're in a situation that because he's been so clutch, guys, and because he's such a great scorer and he's a scorer that's willing to pass the ball and he's really working well with our young movement, I think he's a must sign. And I think that because DeRozan has been there, I think a lot of people can argue that Kobe White and Dosunmu have taken off and they have more confidence because now they know if they miss shots, they have a guy that they can get it to that can settle them in those situations. They talked about it here in the article with what he did with the Kings game, not even hinting to the big 46 points he scored with the Pacers and a huge shot that he sent that into overtime. I mean, the guy is clutch. And then there was a play where, honestly speaking, he was being picked up full court and he told Dosunmu exactly what to do and to get to the cup and get downhill to get a key basket for the Chicago Bulls to win. And it's stuff like that, guys, I think he's worth every penny in free agency. And I know a lot of people may have a lot of pushback here because we're thinking like that Patrick Williams still has some growth. And I agree with you. I just don't think that he's going to be worthy of $20 million a year. And I know DeRozan is going to be a bit older if he takes this contract and we extend him out to, say, 3 years. I know that right now we have Kobe White and Dosunmu on team-friendly deals, which actually coincides with Vooch and his deal. So, I mean, we're going to be running into a situation where we don't want to be in like another Lavine situation with DeRozan on the roster. But honestly, guys, in free agency, where are we going to get a player like DeRozan? Where are we going to get a guy that has been to the Eastern Conference Finals, that is a 2-time gold medalist, and that is on track to possibly go ahead and win the Clutch Player of the Year award, which I think he will win it? Like, I don't think we're going to find another player like this in free agency, and what he has been able to do for our team, I think is just, we can't find that anywhere else, and we have to sign DeMar DeRozan if the Chicago Bulls want to stay on this movement where they want to be competitive and they also want to get younger as well. This is a perfect bridge for us because we can still win games. You know that Kobe White and Dosunmu are only going to get better, guys. And I feel like if we draft well, we continue to nurture Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry. Guys, this is a team that honestly can be back into the 45-game winning games in that column, and then also too maybe further in the playoffs, guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Once again, this is Rico Greenhowe. Go Bulls. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out.